the cloud. So, hello everyone who is going to watch the recording. My name is Priyanka Sagu. I'm one of the code leads for SIG contributor experience. We have Madhav also joining us here, who is also one of the technical leads. Uh, Before we get started, this meeting follows CNCF code of conduct, which pretty much comes down to please be excellent, nice, good, helpful to each other. This meeting is being recorded. So if you want to not share anything that should go on YouTube, please feel free to turn off your audios, videos, and uh, stuff. With that, maybe we can get started with round of introduction. If anyone wants to do that for our very first APAC call, or we can move to any open discussion items. I don't see much filled up in our sub project sections. We can go through them, but if there is anything else that is already on the agenda or something we would like to discuss during this call, we can start with that also. But happy to have the first APAC meeting. It's great.
So I don't, Sandeep, are you involved with Contributor Summit comms this time around? I know you're helping out with the comms project, but are you involved with the Contributor Summit as well?
Uh, so I think I didn't quite get your question. Can you repeat? Like,
Are you involved with the Contributor Summit as well, like the Contributor Summit comms? I know you're involved with the
yeah,
comms like yeah. So do you want to talk a little bit about that?
yes. So I think when I started joining the ContribEx meeting, Kathleen had a call for contributor submit shadow. So
Mhm.
I am actually a com shadow right now.
Oh, nice.
And,
Okay.
and I think my first email is scheduled to go tonight.
Oh, awesome. Nice.
So we have been helping out with all of the comms for the contributor submit. And I think we have a document. We have a document where we prepare all the comms. And then I think 5 shadows assigned. So we have all of our responsibilities allotted. And then we also have the global contributor summit call every Monday. So it's at 9 a.m. Pacific on Monday. So where like all of the leads meet. So sometimes if a lead is not present, then the shadow gives the updates on behalf of the lead.
Got it. Got it. Awesome.
Um,
Yeah.
Sorry, I should have raised my hand. I just wanted to ask Sandeep, do you want to talk about the email that's going to go out tonight? Should we call out on that if somebody might be reading the meeting notes? Is it something like CFP related information, something that needs to be consumed by the bigger audience? Maybe we can put that in the notes as well if somebody later reads a note.
Yes, so today is actually a pretty short mail. It is going only to the least who want to nominate the contributors for the award. Like somebody has done outstanding work in the SIG and they want to nominate them for the award. So that is the reminder email going out because the nomination closes on 31st July. So it's about 1 week remaining for the nomination.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Another one I saw that came from your co-shadow and comms team, Arvind. He shared an email, I think, yesterday about the
Yeah, yeah,
CFP opening up for KCNS. So I put a link
yeah,
in the uh, agenda.
yeah.
Thanks, Priyanka.
The CFPs will stay open till September 15. I'll also add a note for that.
So, like Kathleen is the comms lead for the KCSN. So based on whatever past emails has been sent, She has prepared an excellent document, and we still continue to refactor it because sometimes we do something new, and somewhere in the past there was not a prior art that we can refer. And then one of the things is like today is my first email. It's to the list, so it will be stuck in the moderation queue because it's the first
Yeah.
email. So like if
Yeah.
customer is not around, who to reach out to? Like if the
Um,
email.
uh, so Priyanka and I both have access to the moderation queue. We also can help approve it if it's in the queue. So if Caslin maybe or Chris isn't around, or someone from the comms team isn't around, you can just ping us on the ContribEx channel and we can help out over there.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
excellent. So excellent. So actually, Carsten was thinking she'll document that if it is stuck in the queue, who to reach out to. So like we can put your name, Stan.
Yes. You can ask Priyanka or me or yeah, we should have access to it as well.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I was just adding all the APAC leads could should have access to the moderation queue. So Nabarun also included.
Yes, Nabarun as well. Yeah.
And Caslin actually raised this issue yesterday itself, that the new people who are sending emails to the mailing list, their emails are getting stuck in the queue. So she might add the few people who are shadows and are supposed to be regularly sending emails to, I think, the mailing list by default, or there is some discussion going on, and maybe some improvement might come out from that discussion. There is no action item right now, uh, but Caslin have raised that, and I think we are already discussing that. So if we have more updates, we'll share that in the upcoming meetings.
So I actually have a question. Uh, maybe it may not be related to this meeting, but so okay. So first we have the KCS and a contributor summit. That is one thing. And then the second thing is that we meet every Friday 8 a.m. PST or 8:30 p.m. IST, where it is mostly Kathleen, me, Chris, Frederico. That is all about the six spotlight docs and any other communications. And then the third meeting that is it is the country bus is like we have me, Kathleen, Josh Barkos. So I think that is more global. So I want to clearly understand the differences. I think I know, but I don't know with 100% clarity.
I can add. So the Wednesday meeting, this meeting, and there is another Wednesday meeting that happens, I think,
Yeah,
are 9:30 p.m. IST, somewhere
yeah.
around that time. Those are, you can take them as the whole SIG meetings, where we go through each sub project of SIG contribix. Uh, Example, the summit staff, contributor summit, elections, GitHub administrations, Slack administration, and so on. So we try to go over each sub project and take uh, notes from them, or whatever is the work going on there. The next meet and The next meeting is this meeting, which is going to be an equivalent of that meeting, but in a APAC time zone, or APAC JNZ time zone. Same agenda, but same format for the discussion. Just people from APAC and Japan, New Zealand, Australia people can attend this meeting in a more timely manner. The third meeting, the one that happens on Friday, 8:30 p.m. or 9 p.m. our time, that one is specifically for one sub project of SIG contribEx called contributor comms, or communications. So everything, like you mentioned, related to comms is being discussed there, and Kathleen and Chris, being the current leads of that the sub project, host that meeting. The fourth meeting that you mentioned, where you, Kaslin, Josh, I'm not sure about that fourth meeting. Maybe that's a CNCF meeting. Uh, but Madhav, are you aware of another meeting?
So as I understood it, the fourth meeting was the KCS meeting that happens, the KCS planning, which happens on Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's the KCS planning. So this is specifically catered towards the Kubernetes Contributor Summit event itself. So whatever is related to that, so registrations, comms for it, logistics, and so whatever is needed by the summit team and the summit staff is discussed in that meeting, as per at least my understanding goes.
Yes, that's correct. That makes sense.
So based on what you sort of want to talk about, or you want to gain more context on, you can join each of the meetings. So if you want comms specifically, so that will always be discussed on Friday, but if you want to talk on Wednesday as well, that is also an option. But for comms, Caslin won't be on this call, so she will be on the America time zone call for ContribEx on Wednesday.
Oh,
So depending on when it's happening, you can pick one.
yeah. Oh, one question. So Kathleen and Chris are the comms lead for the uh SIG ContribEx comms, correct?
Yes, correct. Yes.
Then what about you and Priyanka? You are the lead for which one then?
So Priyanka and I are the technical leads for SIG ContribEx as a whole. So Caslin is also one of the chairs of the SIG. So Caslin helps out with some responsibilities that chairs do, and Priyanka and I help out with some of the technical responsibilities of the SIG as a whole, not specific to one sub project. So
Okay.
the link that Priyanka pasted has some more info about this. Um,
Okay.
Yeah, basically, I wanted to add that Nabarun, Madhav, Kaslin, and myself, we are kind of the lead of this whole, whatever we call the whole group, SIG ContribEx here. And then the SIG ContribEx have their work divided among sub projects. One of the sub projects is contributor comms, where Kaslin is again a lead of that sub project. So she is also a SIG ContribEx lead, but also a lead of one of the sub projects. Similarly, there is another sub project, GitHub administration. So Madhav, Nabarun, myself, Bob, and few other people. They are leads of that sub project or admins of that sub project. So basically, one people with multiple roles here. Uh, yeah, I pasted a link that gives a list of all the sub projects we have under SIG
Yeah.
ContribEx. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. And there is one more thing that comes to my mind. So in the call that we had last Wednesday with Josh and Kathleen, so we came upon an idea of preparing a sort of a one-pager document. Okay, a one-pager document that can help people with getting started in contributing to open source. So, for example, like the KCNS Summit has a getting started guide, but it is more about how to get started with a Git repo and everything. And this one pager was sort of supposed to be a path document. Like if you want to do this, go there. If you want to do this, go there. If you want to, so like that sort of one pager where like suppose somebody comes and they just want to get started with documentation, where do they go? Or somebody comes and wants to get started with being a Go developer or contributing to the Go language, where do they go? So sort of that was it. So I think Kathleen has got started with a rough draft of it. We have to see whether we succeed in our ambition of making it a really one pager or not.
and that's a really good idea. So um, right now we have some resources, but as you said, they may not be specific enough. So for example, we have on kubernetes.dev, we have a new contributor course, right? Where is this? Let's see.
Yeah.
So new contributor course over here. So I pasted the link in the chat. I'll also add it to the meeting notes. So you have different sections, like, but as you said, that's for a GitHub and things like that. But so it will be really nice if we can have per sub. So are you thinking like contributing? This is for contributing to ContribEx or just in general to the project as a whole?
As a project as a whole, like say
Okay.
the most asked question is like, I'm new to this. Okay, I'm new to this. How do I get started? Okay, and then there are like, putting that, like, so for example, we have our deaf and hard of hearing working group meeting.
Yeah.
Okay, so we had it yesterday night. So there is a new person. He has been joining us since last 2-3 months, and he's from Vietnam. So yesterday I had a question, and it did not surprise me at all. The question was that if I want to submit a CFP, do I need to have a Kubernetes certification? So
Okay.
he apparently thought that only people who have the requisite certification, requisite knowledge, only they can submit a CFP. So
Yeah.
like there are lots of misconceptions, and this project is too huge. And like Madhu, I'll be honest, in part of in part of more than a decade of experience, even I was struggling to get started here because I apparently don't code in Go. And then I was lost, like, where do I get started? And then you put me in
Yeah.
comp, and then I actually slowly got started. So an individual who can experience also struggle. So people who are very new will struggle really a lot because they really don't know where I should begin. There are too many things. Just tell me, I just want to put my first PR. What's the easiest way to get started? Like that. Or like
Yeah.
how do
No,
I
I
start?
agree. Yeah, I think that's a really good point. Yeah, we have very not generic, but we have things specific to like doing GitHub and things like that. But it will be nice to have sort of not just documenting how to get started, but also documenting experiences, right? Like what was your experience, Sandeep, for example, and things like that. So it can be a one pager, it can be more than that. We can put it as a section in the kubernetes.dev website so that you can have multiple sections under it and you can fill it up with as much information as you want.
Yeah.
That is also more than okay. So I think that's a really good idea.
Yeah, I think like s- sometimes like in past in Kubernetes SIG ContribEx itself, there have been a few efforts like this where we have tried to document the experiences of people in blog format, but they were not really targeted at the queries and the problems that you are mentioning right now, which is what is very important. The earlier effort of documenting people experiences was just to appreciate the work they have been doing and where they have reached
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
their contributor journey. So something like this which actually talks in granular details, or at least some useful details about what they did, what problems they had and what they did to solve them, or what was their journey like, would be really helpful. But I do feel it's a problem that we have to solve slowly, because l- there are lot of different kind of experiences people have in this project, again because of the sheer size of the project and also where they are trying to contribute to. So happy to help, like if you have uh, ideas and if we need to document them, I can also collaborate on those areas. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I was just thinking about this while Sandeep was talking. It would be actually really good and really amazing if if Sandeep can also bring some of his experiences from the deaf and hard of hearing working group, what they've been talking about and things like that, uh, to ContribEx so that we can adopt some of those principles or adopt some of that work here as well, so that we can make it easier for future contributors. I'm sure we can do better, but it'll be nice to sort of have a starting point that we can focus on and work on.
100%. I had watched the panel discussion uh, where Sandeep, you, Josh, and Don, and I think one more person talked about different areas of the tag contributor sustainability. I think that's the name of that tag, are working on. But that was still brief because it was a panel discussion for about 30 minutes. So anything that we could add, like some action items format for SIG ContribEx, that would be really great. I 100% agree with Madhav. We can do a better job here as well. Yeah.
Also,
I'll
Madhav.
also, sorry, go ahead, Sandeep.
No, no, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
I was just saying I'll add a link to the talk panel discussion in the meeting notes. So if somebody wants to check out what I'm talking about, they can start from there. That would be a good starting point.
Thank you. Yes, Madhav, what I was saying that I know that it's being recorded, but I just wanted to thank you for pointing out about suggesting me to start with comms. And I think that is really branch out. And I have now multiple meetings. And I think I look forward to this meeting with as much passion as I do to my work meetings. Okay, sometimes I even skip my work meetings to be a part of this because it's really fun and passion, yeah.
I'm, that makes me really happy. Thank you, Sandeep. I'm glad you're doing so well.
Yeah, I think Sandeep, is it just me who is stuck, or
I think I can see Sandeep moving.
okay? So I'm back. I can see everyone moving, and I lost the last 10 seconds or 30 seconds. So if that was recorded, good.
Yeah, I think it's recording fine. No worries. Okay, let's see. Um, Moderation and media, I don't think we have anyone from there. GitHub management, I don't have any updates. Priyanka, do you have any?
No, I can just add that we have been discussing a lot about migrating to enterprise. That's still right now discussion, and we are planning, but not yet done. So that's the
Okay.
only update I think we have from there. Uh, I wanted to jump back to the mentoring sub project if we are fine.
Yeah, sure. I think
Okay.
we have enough time.
Okay. I saw that there is some discussion ongoing in SIG ContribEx Slack uh, about number one, I think the LFX mentoring nomination, the projects for the deadline for projects to, I think, participate in LFX mentorship. That one is approaching. And then there is some in general discussion happening about starting mentoring group cohorts. Do we want like to talk about that? M- Anyone interested in that? I don't know. I just wanted to
This
call that
was
out.
the
That I'll
this was
put a
the thread
link.
yesterday, right? Or just
Yes,
last week by Sylvester, I think.
uh, thread yesterday. Sylvester. Yeah, yeah.
I think the deadline was extended by 1 week.
Okay. I saw in some CNCF Slack that it's almost approaching. I will check the new deadline and put it there.
Should we send out comms for this one? Just like to let projects know that
I think we
we have
should.
a.
Yeah, yeah. I will. Let me just find out the new dates and I'll put them there.
So, project proposals, July 30th is the date. The updated date, rather.
Okay. Yeah.
Sandeep, do you want to take this up and discuss it with Caslin and Chris and those folks about sending out comms for LFX deadline?
Uh, one second. Madhav, but we won't be meeting before Friday. So you mean to say we have a discussion in Slack?
Yes, Slack is also okay, no worries. You can start a thread on the ContribEx comms channel, and at least we can see if we need to send out comms for it or not.
Okay, sure, sure.
All right. Group mentoring. Sylvester mentioned that Minikube was open to the idea of group mentoring, but it's a little more not sure if that's concrete yet.
Yeah. He mentioned about two mentoring groups, Minikube and then SIG architecture. I think we don't have more information, concrete information on any of those yet.
Yeah, SIG architecture hasn't asked as such for the group for a group mentoring cohort, but hopefully, something comes out of it. That'd be really cool.
Maybe then just a call out that that's still a thing, group mentoring cohort. And if any SIG or any working group feels like they need help with onboarding new people, SIG ContribEx can help with running the mentoring cohorts.
Yeah.
Yes, so I've just put in a link. That is a post from Net, where it says that extended the proposal window a week.
Okay. Okay. That's good. So this was yesterday, right? So yeah, okay. 30th is what I understand it to be. Updated, yeah, 30th July. I think this is the same link that is there in the notes. That's good. Okay, yeah, it's the same one.
One thing that always puzzles me is why do we have two Slack workspaces, one for Kubernetes and one for CNCF? I have to switch between them.
Yeah, yeah. So the Kubernetes one is just for the Kubernetes project because it can get quite big. Some CNCF projects also have their own Slack instances, but CNCF Slack is everything CNCF. Like there are channels for individual sub projects. There are also channels for tags in CNCF. So, for example, tag contributor strategy, uh, deaf and hard of hearing working group will be a
Yeah.
separate channel, and things like that. So, another thing is CNCF Slack. You can also create your own channels by yourself. You can't do that in Kubernetes Slack. Kubernetes Slack, you have to send in a PR to Kubernetes/community, and then a bot will do it because we want to keep a tight moderation on what channels are included and things like that. So yeah,
Is it correct to say the Kubernetes Slack is older than the CNCF Slack?
I am actually not sure. Kubernetes Slack, I wasn't part of the community back then, but it was on IRC a while ago. So
Oh,
like I
okay.
think Nikita was on the IRC that time, and
Okay,
I think then it
that's
moved to
interesting.
Slack. Yeah, I'm not sure when it happened though. Yeah,
I was just wondering because CNCF was created around Kubernetes project. So, uh,
yeah, yeah. We should probably ask Nikita or Josh or Bob or someone. Yeah. So mentoring comms is good. Contributor documentation, I think this is somewhat what we all also spoke about, right? Like the one pager that Sandeep was talking about.
yeah, that falls under that would be a good contribution to that area.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put it under there. I put it under open mic because I wasn't fully sure. So moderation, management, elections. Do we have any updates over there?
I can do that. So I'm one of the election officers this time, so I have
Nice. Okay.
some context. We are discussing right now the schedule for the election that's not done yet, so I'll not put the dates here, but uh, tentatively going to start first week of August. And we are discussing with steering on their availability, making sure that we do not schedule anything that falls on major holidays for um, every contributor around the earth. So schedule for the steering committee elections, I think the comms for that expect them to come in the next week, uh, or maybe by end of this week. Some uh,
The elections
that's
are they usually in August? Uh,
yes.
okay.
So the communications, I think they start sometime in September. But when I say the process start, the process for creating the voters list, also
Got it.
calling out for nominations for whoever wants to run for the election, and then creating every documentation that goes with those nominations, plus the exception request for whoever is not in the voters list, because that's usually created through some tool based on some criteria, and that does not include every criteria that's not tracked, let's say, as part of GitHub. So exception request for them, so there is like some time for dealing with those processes. And then once we have the nominations in place and the voter list in place, then we start the election through electo. So
Got it.
a schedule of if all of those things will, let's expect that to come in soon, in a week or so. We are currently discussing that.
Got it. Thanks, Priyanka. And awesome. You're one of the EOs this time. That's exciting.
It just happened
Nice. Good,
by
good.
chance.
Mhm.
One question. So who prepares the communications for this?
The comms team
Okay.
itself.
Yeah. So there are three election officers. They divide the work for like the whole of the election cycle between three people. One of the election officers, not decided yet, would be more taking more of all the communication stuff, and then they will be working with one person from the SIG ContribEx contributor comms team. So there will be one liaison from that group who would help the election officer to do the communications around elections. All sorts of communications like the schedule, sharing when we are calling out for nominations for candidates who want to run for elections, results, and so on throughout the election cycle. So one election officer will work with one liaison from SIG ContribEx comms.
So that will be the casting team. The comms team, when you say the comms team, is that Kathleen?
Not yet decided yet, because we are still discussing the schedule of what the how we want to schedule this entire cycle, election cycle. Once we have decided that and the work is divided between three officers, the one officer, one person who is responsible for comms related stuff maybe will reach out to the contributor comms group, and whoever have the availability from that group can help with the communication. So it could be Caslin and it could be anybody under that group, for example you, but the communication will come out from that particular election officer to that group. So maybe that will be on SIG ContribEx, or yeah, I will share more details maybe in the next meeting. By that time, we'll have the responsibilities assigned to us.
Sounds good. Okay, open mic. Any other topics that we didn't cover or you can think of now but didn't think earlier on? Anything at all, basically, that you would like to talk about?
Yeah, I don't know if there is some answer to that, but uh, maintainers track or the contributor summit for KubeCon India, is there any discussion going on around that anywhere? Anyone is aware? I remember that contributor summit was supposed to be merged as some maintainer summit, some event like that. Anyone have any updates on that?
I do not. Maybe it's worth asking Nikita about this.
Which also reminds me, KubeCon India CFP is still open and closes when? Let me, sometime in August.
25th
CFP
August.
closes 25 August. Okay, yeah. And maybe scholarships. They are also open till October 13th. You can put a link.
You mean open till October 13th?
Yes, yes. I just realized. Thanks. Okay.
I don't have anything else that's coming at the top of mind.
Yeah, I think I'm good too.
Maybe for the next some meetings, we can pre-plan to go through the boards. One of the things that I wanted to do during this apex load, since I expect to not have too many people joining early on unless we start doing outreach. We could use that time to go through our K community, K or boards, but that's a like comment for next occurrence iteration of this one. And basically for me, and leads to prepare for that.
Sounds good.
Okay. In general, project callouts, we are in code freeze now as of today. Um, so that's one of the milestones. for Kubernetes 131 release cycle, and test freeze is expected next week. I can pull in the dates. Okay. Madhav, I have a question that's not meant for SIG ContribEx but more release. I can take
Mhm.
that. The issue that you created, I think, yesterday for promoting Go version on basically promoting or maybe bumping below or the next one on KK main branch. Is this something that's doable before the next RC0 cut? Then,
So
sorry, the upcoming RC0, which is on 30th of July.
so the I saw the thread that was started just now, and I saw I think they are the release lead this time comment. So just to be
Angelos.
clear, yeah, Angelos, just to be clear, Go 1.23.0 isn't going to be out till 15th of August, approximately 15th of August. And the GA cut date for Kubernetes 1.31 is 13th of August. So there is a good chance that 1.23.0 isn't going to be out by then. Now, the whole intent of the issue is to make sure that we don't ship 1.31.0 with an RC version of Go. So if for whatever reason the Kubernetes release date is pushed, this is not because of Go, but if for any unforeseen circumstances it is pushed, or the Go release date is preponed, then we should be able to bump to Go 1.23.0. But if we cannot do that, that is if Go is not out in a timely manner, timely as in it does not align with the Kubernetes release cycle, then it is completely okay to revert back to 1.22.x that we've always been on and then ship with that. That is not an issue at all. So the issue is just to serve as a sanity check that we don't ship Kubernetes with an RC version of Go. That's it. It's nothing too severe for now
Yeah,
at least.
yeah. We discussed it during today's release team meeting, happened like an hour back. Just to discuss it, what do we want to do? Whether we want to ship it with 122 or wait till, let's say, 123, and waiting means
Yeah,
delaying it. Yeah,
I'll drop a comment both on the thread and the issue as well, so that there is no ambiguity in terms of what the intent is supposed to be here. So
yeah,
if we ship with 1.22, no problem at all. If we ship with 1.23, better, but still no problem at all. So either way, it's
yeah.
okay.
So we were thinking if we could take that decision, whatever we want to do, like whether we want to revert it back to 122, or we want to wait for 2 more days, like delay the release and wait, which we don't know. Like you said, it might come on August 15 or might not come, so delay it till some time. If we could take that decision before RC0 and have the uh, yeah, RC0, if we could make that happen before RC0, that would be great. So do you
Okay.
think, like, who are the people? I pointed them to you, Dims, Carlos, uh
Yeah,
for
Dims, Jordan, Carlos, and other folks who will have some more insight. I'll put whatever I just said on the thread, and we can take it over there.
yeah. So do you think the decision have to be taken by release team? What do we want to do? I don't think so, because it should be taken care by the dependency owners or maintainers. So that's my understanding, but you can correct me. Like, who are the
Yeah,
people who should take that decision? Uh,
I think this is a little bit of both, mainly because the release team is involved with building the Go images. So that's some additional overhead for the team close to the cut itself. Usually, if it's just a dependency bump, then no worries at all. But this is like the release managers need to actually go and trigger image promotions and things like that. So there's some amount of work involved over there, which we also need to be careful about. So I think it's best if we wait a day or two, let the discussion pan out, and then see what the consensus is. But I would probably just go with whatever the release team has to say at this point. We merged the
Yeah,
RC to PR because we wanted signal, but that's pretty much it. Nothing more than that.
got it. So the discussion we ended at today in our last release team meeting was, I think we are more leaning towards going with 122 and
Yeah,
uh, building the main basically 130 131.1, using that to push the one go 123 change. By that time we can be sure, like, it might be available by the first batch release of
we
131.
we may not be able to do that
Okay.
because we have a process of bumping major versions of Go. That takes
Okay.
3 months. That takes
Okay.
3 months to do, and but that's completely okay because 1.22 is still supported, right? When
Yeah.
1.23
Yeah.
comes out, so that's also not an issue.
Okay. Oh, I wasn't aware of that. So that also, like, maybe restarts the discussion whether we want to wait because
Yeah,
of the 3 months. Yeah. Okay.
I'll put all this. I'll compose a message and I'll put it up on the issue and the thread, and we can take it over there.
Got it.
Yeah,
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. That, yeah.
that's good.
I just wanted to bring that, yeah, and hear from you what
Mhm.
basically who should
Yeah,
be the
no
people
worries.
deciding uh, what needs to be done. Okay. Thank.
Yeah. Okay. So anything else, Sandeep? Do you want to talk about anything else?
No, I'm good. It was quite
Okay.
interesting to listen to a discussion of this Go version bump. That was quite interesting to listen to.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, yeah. Release team is great that way. So
Oh, where
okay,
do
awesome.
in
Yeah.
which Slack in which Slack channel do you discuss all this?
There are mainly two. One is the release management Slack channel. So release management, and there is one more called Kate's Code Organization. So these are the two channels where mainly this is discussed.
The go bumps. Yeah. Stuff related to release would be discussed in majorly in SIG release and more channels, but majorly SIG release.
Okay.
Madhav,
Okay.
how long have you been involved with this open source contributions?
Sorry.
How long have you been involved in this open source contribution to Kubernetes and CNC?
Um, I think a little over 3 years now. Just little over 3 years.
Nice. And you, Priyanka?
Yeah. About 3 years in Kubernetes, on off, more than 2 years on. And then I've been part of like various other projects for about 5 year ish now. More than 5 year ish now. Yeah.
Okay. So, what was your first KubeCon? Like which year you attended your first KubeCon?
It was KubeCon Valencia. I don't remember the year, 2022. That's still my best KubeCon. I did not attend that as a speaker. Um,
Uh,
Absolutely knowing nothing, and I met l- everyone. And that was the first time, like, I experienced how good the Kubernetes community is. They were very welcoming. So KubeCon Valencia was the first and still the most memorable one for me.
I agree. That was my first KubeCon as well. So yeah.
Wow, awesome, awesome. So that is when you got connected.
Yes,
Um,
I mean I knew Priyanka through Slack, but that's when I first met her in person. Yeah.
yeah.
I think we have someone else here.
Yeah. Hi, Ashraf. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. we were just wrapping up the meeting.
But would
But
love
it's
to
good to have you
have
here.
your introduction if you want to come on
Yeah.
mic. Yeah. Okay. If not, I'll just call for any last minute stuff. Anybody wants to discuss anything, or we can stop the recording.
I'm good. Yeah.
I would say thank you for joining today's call. I'm happy. Like we had a great first APAC
Yes, I
call.
agree.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. See you in the next one. Bye.
Okay.
But one thing, we have our next meeting on next Wednesday. Is it weekly or
Yes, that will.
monthly?
So the next meeting will be in the America time zone. So at 10:30, is it 10:30 or 9:30 p.m. for us in India time?
9:30. Right
Yeah, so
now,
Okay.
9:30
9:30.
p.m.
Yeah.
And the APAC meeting will be, so each time zone is bi-weekly basically. Yeah. But ContribEx meeting is weekly.
Okay.
It goes
Okay.
on weekly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Sounds good.
I'll stop the recording now.